Australia. Tonight, entrepreneurs, scientists and business executives from India are taking part in a one-of-a-kind Bollywood business pitch in Australia, and there's big money on the table.
Our reporter Camille Bianchi joins us from the Spark Festival in Sydney. Camille, tell us a little bit more about what's actually happening there.
Now, we're just outside a little room. You may not be able to tell. There's about 100 people in there, and the industry value of some of the ideas on display is worth tens of billions of dollars on the global market. Now, that is a big call, but I can back it up. So I've had a chat with a couple of the Indian women who have been brought here as part of the Virangana project. So one of them is a Nobel Prize nominee in the field of biochemistry. We'll hear from her later. But first, I'm speaking with a lady who has potentially got a wearable device that detects epilepsy. It actually has been proven to detect epilepsy. So it's gloves that you wear, and for a couple of minutes, it has the trace effect to capture all that technology, and then all of that and more. We'll hear from her. There's a lot to discuss, and let's take a peek at what we talked about just before. Now, I've had the benefit of looking into your work, but for the audience at home, my understanding is that it's gloves. So someone will wear gloves, and after a few minutes it can predict a seizures coming. Can you describe some of the products?
Sure. So our device is in the form of a smart glove, or you can also call it a smart watch with accessories. Okay, and what it does is it collects signals from the palm, from the hand, and the wrist, from both places, and this information is sent to a smartphone, and through the smartphone the doctors, the caregivers, the patient themselves gets information. So if there is a bad event about to happen, then it provides that information to all the stakeholders, so that that event could be addressed or aborted, or if somebody needs oxygen or the doctor should be called, all that could be done before the event happens. For simple usage, it could also mean that when somebody is in office and they are like really tired and about to have a seizure, it just means that they just sit down and not go out driving and stuff like that. So it's all about their safety, and that's the kind of information we provide.
In terms of the investment potential here, is that something you're looking for on our shores, or are you trying to secure it? You've already got your affiliated organisation through in Melbourne. Are you trying to secure more investment on this trip, or is it really just education?
So it's about securing investment, definitely. And see, we have proven our technology in India. Okay, but we want to make this a world-class product, which means that it has to go through international certification, and in Australia it is the TGA. So our path to market is from India, Australia, Europe, and rest of the world. And for us to be able to get the TGA certification, we have to do our trial in Australia, for which we need about $60,000. It's not even much. We're just replicating our trial, and we have already proven it, so we think that we'll be able to prove it very fast here. That's the starting point. And what we want to raise right now is $250,000, and in the long run to up to $3 million. So if somebody gives us $250,000, we are really good, and we'll be able to complete our research.
So that was a fascinating chat I had with Raji. So something really interesting that we spoke about is actually women in India, women doing business actually all over the world, and the difficulty of attracting funds. It's not only culturally difficult to sell yourself in that context in South Asia and also in Australia, but they're being set up with angel investors, entrepreneurs, and a range of people on a trip through Australia. So it's not just about tonight. Next, they'll meet with investors in Melbourne, and they're hoping to, as we've heard, get millions for some pretty special ideas.
Yeah, an absolutely incredible event going on there, Camille. Thank you very much for covering that for us. Some amazing breakthroughs.
I can't wait to see more of the action. Yeah. Camille, thank you. Thanks. Well, some chaos, bit of confusion.